This presentation is on the translation called the Common English Bible. I hope you enjoy it. The Common English Bible was published by Abingdon Press. It was started in 2008 and finished in 2011. It is now one of two translations in use at Fuller Theological Seminary, located in Pasadena, California. The Common English Bible is known for its easy readability, making it ideal for young Christians, people learning English, and people with low reading levels. We will also see that it is heavily marketed as a translation to use in worship services. The forces behind the Common English Bible wanted a translation that would be inclusive, not only in language, but in the broad range of people that could read and understand it. It was written on an 8th grade reading level, about the same reading level as the newspaper USA Today. It is also believed that this kind of translation provides a better reading experience within worship, because in worship, the congregants often receive the scriptures orally, as in someone reads it out loud from the Bible at some point during the service. The translators are from across faith traditions all over the world, including American, African, Asian, European, and Latino communities. Unlike some other translations we have studied, the Common English Bible included women on its translation team. The Common English Bible was funded by the Church Resources Development Corporation, a division of the Presbyterian Church USA. Representatives from the Disciples of Christ, Presbyterian Church USA, Episcopal Church, United Church of Christ, and United Methodist Church denominations are all represented during the periodical committee meetings surrounding the Common English Bible. The Church Resources Development Corporation, the people that funded this translation, wanted the Common English Bible to meet specific needs. The Common English Bible was created in part to reach out to people with lower reading levels, either because they are children, because they were not blessed with high literacy levels because of maybe their education or where they live, or even people that are new English speakers. It was also created for anyone who wanted a more accessible translation for worship. The Common English Bible is a hybrid translation, including verbal equivalence with dynamic balance and common language. You'll remember from Dr. DeClasse Walford's previous lectures that verbal equivalent translations are much more literal word-for-word translations, like the New American Standard Bible. A dynamic equivalent translation would be closer to an idea-for-idea translation, like the New Living Translation. And the paraphrase translations, like the Message, simply paraphrase the text. While we all definitely have our preferences in translations, I think we can probably all agree that there is an occasion for each type of translation, if not for each translation, whether it be worship, personal study, or a classroom setting. Because of its lower reading level, the Common English Bible is similar to the New Living Translation and the New International Version, but different from the New Revised Standard Version. Its inclusive language makes it similar to the New Revised Standard Version, but different from many other more conservative translations. Even though the project was funded by the Presbyterian Church USA, it is published by the United Methodist Church's publishing arm, Abingdon Press. Even though the driving force behind the Common English Bible were mainline Protestant English speakers, several other voices from other traditions and other communities, especially global communities, were heard during the translation process. This was mainly to be sure that the English in the translation was both accurate and accessible for English readers and speakers around the world. I personally like this Common English Bible because it is accessible as a Baptist. I believe that everybody has the right to read and interpret the Bible for themselves, and so having an accessible Bible that lots more people can read and lots more people have access to is really important to me. The other reason I like it is that it is meant for oral readings, so it is usable for worship. Even if you have a really high reading level, sometimes when you read some of the more academic translations, like the New Revised Standard Version in church, they don't always translate well to people because they're not meant to be read orally, whereas the Common English Bible was written in order to be read orally and for a high readability. So I think that those are very important things when we as ministers and people who are going to be ministers of worship are going to have to think about when we are picking translations for to read aloud to our congregations in service. These are the sources I drew from the most. I know the second source seems a little odd, but the author of this particular blog is a pastor in a church, and I gleaned a lot from his insights about using the Common English Bible in a church and worship setting. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I look forward to seeing what you have all come up with for your presentations. Thank you.